If you have been playing any competitive game for long enough, I'm sure you have heard the phrase, "Man, I just need to improve my mentality." And you've probably heard it hundreds of times. Well, here's my take on that idea. Your mentality does not matter. Now, I know, this sounds like clickbait, and you probably think I'm going to walk this take back to some reasonable mid-ground. No, I really mean it. Your mentality is almost completely irrelevant to your competitive success. And I mean in any game.
I'm taking a cigarette break. I hate this game already.
Picture this. You just underperformed at your local tournament. You were so mad or nervous during the last game. This has happened to so many competitors. After the event, you think to yourself, man, if I had just been able to stay calm in that last set, maybe I would have been able to focus up and make the comeback. Maybe it's time to finally pick up the inner game of tennis. Wrong. And how do I know this? Well, let me introduce y'all to the subject of today's analysis. Two-time EVO champ in 2 different games, the Godslayer, one of the best Melee players and Strive players of all time, Leffen. And yes, I know, many of you have opinions on Leffen. Some of you may have even felt compelled to write a comment just at the mention of his name. But I'm not here to talk about opinions. What I'm here to do is lay out some facts. This dude has a terrible mentality, and this dude is one of the greatest esports competitors of all time. But hold up, before we really jump in, let me take a quick second to define mentality. Mentality is not discipline. Leffen has buckets of that he practices constantly. Also, if you have a real mental health issue like an anxiety disorder, that's also not what I'm getting at. Mentality, in my opinion, simply refers to your emotional state before, during, and after a set takes place. Well, let me show you some of my personal favorite highlights of Leffen's mental state before and after some of his events.
The wedge dash! Beautiful angle, but Leffen... I heard that.
Leffen and Fox incredible. Well, Leffen, not happy.
Leffen is acting in the same way an ultimate O2er might, spiking his controller after a close loss, with all the Johns included. But again, I cannot stress how amazing and clutch he is at fighting games. So what gives? I think a lot of lower and mid-level competitors have this idea of the perfect competitor. Someone who is completely emotionally neutral before a set. Someone who is totally focused and at peace during the set. A Zen master who remains completely unbothered. A man who is gracious in defeat and humble in his success. And yes, I know all of you are thinking about Jmook. And let me be fair, for your own mental health and stability, it probably is way better to be Jmook than it is to be Leffen. But as far as results are concerned, both of them perform very well. So why is this? Well, as much as I hate to burst y'all's bubbles, the winner of any competition is almost always predetermined heading into the game before a single stock or a single round is taken. Beating your opponent is like solving any other problem. You need to have the right tools for the job. When Leffen is heading into his first match in Top 64, he's bringing a full toolkit. He has his punish game, his movement, his reaction points, and his game sense, not to mention so much more. All of these tools were refined and practiced for hundreds of hours before he even knew he was going to play this set. Whether or not he just tweeted out 20 excuses, he's still going to be able to hit this chain grab on FB. And now, valued viewer, or even maybe higher valued subscriber, I can imagine you thinking, oh really Adust, you need to practice to win? What a groundbreaking conclusion. And yeah, I know you know that you need to practice to improve. But what I'm saying is that if you're not making top 8 at a major event, and you have ever blamed your loss on your mental game, you really need to understand that your rage or sadness was the result of your failure to bring the best tools, not the cause of your loss. A poor mentality is usually a poor reaction to bad gameplay, rather than something that is hindering the gameplay itself. Also, I think Leffen is a prime candidate to show off this theory, but in case you are thinking that I have cherry-picked an exception to the general rule, here are some of my other personal favorite highlights.
Yeah, and then everyone.
Oh,
everyone.
you don't belong on this stage.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's it.
Nice from.
He threw
Oh,
the controller.
the German pop.
He threw the controller.
Who did?
I watched
Oh,
it.
no. Oh, that's just not cool, actually.
Ooh.
It's just a game. It's just one stock of a crew battle.
Oh, that was smart.
Oh, is that a chain grab? Is that real?
Yeah, he did that to Silo. Yo.
Hungry Box stomping his feet. God! Hungry Box. Particles! Hungry Box is the type to put his hands in his eye.
So, what's the big conclusion? 1. I think narratives about mentality are a bit overblown. Players that are clutch versus players that are chokers generally just have stronger or weaker execution. And while mentality may come into play at the very top level, if you're not making it to day 2 at the major, it's time to put down the inner game of tennis and time to hit the lab. But yeah, that's it for this one. If you agree or disagree, be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed, please feel free to like or even sub. More of my videos are coming down the pipeline soon, I promise.